Have you ever noticed how many men spend their entire lives in pursuit of women, only to feel invisible, rejected, or, worst of all, treated like a backup plan, rather than someone's first choice? It's heartbreaking, because I see it everywhere. Men give years of their lives running on a treadmill of attraction, exhausted, confused, and still no closer to real connection. Think about this. How many times have you gone out of your way to impress someone you were interested in? You spent extra on a dinner you couldn't really afford. You dressed to the nines. You practiced the perfect jokes or lines, hoping to say the right thing at the right time. And then, silence. Her interest slipped away as if it had never been there. Why? Because there's a disconnect between the story men have been sold about attraction and the reality of what makes it grow. The performance trap. We were taught that the road to a woman's heart is through performance. Flex your status, show off your car, brag about your job, prove, prove, prove. The problem? Living in performance mode is like wearing a mask that you can never take off. Psychologists call this conditional self-worth. Your value depends entirely on what you can provide or how others react. It's exhausting, and it kills authentic attraction. Because the moment your identity is based on how well you impress her, you've already lost. You're no longer relating as two humans, you're auditioning for approval. A personal question. Let me ask you, when was the last time you felt truly seen by a woman, not for your wallet, not for your job title, not for the way you entertained her, but for who you actually are? Most men can't remember, and that's the tragedy. Because here's the irony. The more desperately you try to impress, the less impressive you appear. It's a paradox that has tripped up men across cultures, across history. The two extremes, and so, men tend to oscillate between two extremes. One, the pleaser, the guy who bends over backwards, always available, always agreeable, picks up every check, sends the good morning texts, rearranges his schedule to fit hers. In short, he becomes predictable, safe, and forgettable. 2. The Ice King. The opposite approach. He plays it so cool, so detached, that he's practically frozen. He avoids showing genuine interest because he's terrified that caring too much will make him look weak. And in doing so he comes across as distant, aloof, unrelatable. Both strategies fail, because neither is rooted in authenticity. So what's the actual truth? Attraction isn't about being impressive. It's about being engaging. It's not about proving your worth, it's about revealing your depth. Think about the last time you were obsessed with something, or someone. Was it because they chased you, constantly demanded your attention? No. You were hooked, because there was mystery, curiosity, and a sense of discovery. They invited you into a story you wanted to be part of. And this is what the most magnetic men understand. Fascination comes not from desperation, but from living a life so full of purpose that others naturally want to be part of it. Let me break this down into 3 practical principles. 1. Attraction is about how she feels in your presence. When you try too hard, you turn yourself into a performer, and her into the audience. That creates distance. Real connection happens when you stop putting on a show and start creating shared experiences. Instead of bragging about yourself, ask about her passions. Be curious. Listen as though what she's saying matters, because it does. 2. The power of selective vulnerability. Many men think strength means hiding every flaw. But here's the twist. When you can admit your imperfections with confidence, when you can share failures without shame, you actually appear stronger. Why? Because you've accepted yourself. That kind of grounded honesty is rare, and it creates an environment where she feels safe to drop her own mask too. 3. Live a life worth inviting someone into. This is the big one. If your life revolves around chasing women, you'll always feel empty. But when you pursue your own passions, whether that's building a business, mastering a skill, exploring the world, you radiate a natural magnetism. Women aren't drawn to the man who needs them for happiness. They're drawn to the man who is already lit up by his own life. A curious twist. What evolutionary psychology says. Here's an interesting fact from evolutionary psychology. Humans are wired to be attracted not just to resources, but to signals of psychological stability and growth. That means women are unconsciously scanning for traits like resilience, curiosity, and purpose, not just wealth or looks. It's why a man who has nothing but confidence in his direction can often outshine a man who has everything materially, but no inner spark. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Great in theory, but what do I do differently tomorrow? Start small. Take inventory of your behavior. How much of it is performance? How much of it is authentic? Are you impressing or engaging? Then, practice this shift, from seeking validation to offering genuine presence, from impressed to expressing, from chased to choosing. And here's the paradox. The willingness to walk away, not as a tactic, but as an authentic boundary, makes you most magnetic, because people are drawn to those who don't need them, but who choose them. You'll know the shift is working when she asks questions about you when you're not around. She remembers tiny details from your conversations. She looks for reasons to be near you. She seems genuinely disappointed when you have to leave. Those are not signs of polite interest. Those are signs of genuine fascination. So here's my challenge. For the next 7 days, stop trying to impress. Just stop. Instead, focus on being authentic, curious, present. Reinvest in your passions, and notice what happens. Because the ultimate paradox is this: when you let go of trying to make her obsessed with you, that's exactly when she can't stop thinking about you. Not because of tricks, not because of games, but because you've shown her something rare. A man who knows his worth. A man who lives with purpose. A man who connects without neediness. That's the man who doesn't chase. That's the man who attracts. And that's the man you can become. Not by adding layers of performance, but by stripping them away, and finally being yourself. The question is, are you willing to drop the mask?